Francis in this morning for Will Sutton on the Good Morning Show. OT is hanging out this morning. OT is trying to get himself situated because, they moved the desk around in the WBOK studio.
Long, man. My frame.
I got my 5'5" legs nice and comfortable under here.
I got my 6'5" legs stuck all into the wood and everything. But hey, I'm here with Fast Eddie, so I'm good.
Yeah, man. So it's good to see you, OT. How's everything going?
Man, if I was any better, I'd be you.
Oh well, Okay. All right. Well, that's good. That's a good thing. I'm feeling good these days.
Yeah.
Life is treating me well.
I think you're a good brother. First of all, happy every day out there to everybody. And let me say this. I know it's cold. We got to be mindful. We are disaster paranoid.
Yeah.
These days. My kids could have been in school yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have been.
It was just cold.
Yeah, it was just cold. Yeah.
Do you know what my mama made us do in worse weather than that?
Probably the same thing. My parents would
cut the grass, pick up the trash.
Yes.
Go go next door, help them too.
Yeah.
Oh, my mama is cold. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, my kids could have been in school yesterday, man.
Yeah.
And America's, they keep saying it's falling farther and farther behind, but it keeps seeming to me like every excuse not to go to school. I don't remember all these holidays. Maybe I'm just hating. I don't know, Eddie.
Maybe I'm just hating. There might be a little hateration in there. There might be.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, we have to temper. We have to temper for new generations. But I will tell you what I thought was really interesting was that I was watching the live broadcast out of New York.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's New York. They got snow up to their knees and everything. And it was so funny.
Breaking news.
It was so
funny. It
snows
in New York.
It was so funny to watch the newscaster from New York, and he's just like, the weather, we have the news, and people are getting the cars out of it. And people are just walking past him like nothing is happening.
And riding bikes.
Because it's New York.
And riding their bikes.
They were riding their bicycles, and people were just
walking across the street.
The people who were driving, they had emergency management folks and EMS, or they had folks who were trying to plow them and get them out of the snow, and they were just pulling off.
And the newscaster was making it seem like it was snow Armageddon.
He didn't make it that bad. He didn't make it that bad. But
the report I saw.
But he did. You could feel that he was trying to get there.
Right, he was trying.
Yeah, he was.
But the people around him were like,
It's New York.
I'm going to work.
It's New York. Yeah. I already have an
good point.
I already have an 8-story walk up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk to work in this 5-foot snow.
Because that's what I do every year.
Because that's what we do every year. The funny thing is that they talked about it being a snow day for the schools.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point he goes, "It's a snow day, but you still got to go to school because the mayor has declared that all classes should be online today. So you still got to go to school." And that part, I was like, okay, well,
my kids could have been in school yesterday.
They could have been there.
And my grandkids.
Did you get your weather warning text from the governor?
No.
Your personal?
I didn't, unless I just missed it.
Yeah,
you got yours?
Yeah, I got mine. It was
What did it say?
Governor Jeff. This is Governor Jeff Landry.
Be careful.
Take precautions. And it was so funny when I picked it up. The first thing I thought is, why is he texting me? And
well, holla at you.
I'm just like, I don't know you like that. So I'm going, why is he? And I see that it's.
What'd you say? What you said? Jeff, I don't know you like that.
I don't know you like that. And then I see that it's an emergency management text for the weather.
Right.
So as someone who has run communications for organizations, my question was, why is your name on it? Because this isn't your area. Go do something else. Go do governor stuff. Your job is not to tell me about the weather.
Go get some minerals from Greenland?
Yeah. Go get us some resources. Go do something useful.
Find that platinum in that gold mine.
I want to hear from the people who actually run emergency. I want to hear from the people who know how to do their jobs. Emergency management. That's who I want to hear from, not you, not the CEO.
Now, Eddie.
I don't need to hear from the CEO.
Just
I want to hear from the person who handles the area.
There might have been a little head in my stuff, but it made the little tension petty in yours.
No, it's what. Well, yeah, what I'm saying. But really, as someone who, here's my thing. My thing is, as someone who has handled organizational communication,
right?
The people who everybody wants to hear from are the people who handle that area.
But yeah, that's what the expertise is.
That's where the expertise is.
That's the constitutional part of the job that they do for the state.
Yeah.
Emergency management preparation.
And it's
emergency preparation office.
It's also what we call in organizational culture role clarity.
Role clarity. Yeah.
It's role clarity.
Well, and what did Bill Parcells and Sean Payton, what's their favorite line? Do your job.
Do your job. Go get the state some resources. Go holler at your boy in D.C. and go get some resources.
Diversify our economy away from poison chemical plants and just tourism.
Yeah. Try to make sure the people in your state, and I know this is hard, but try to make sure the people in your state are educated and healthy. The two things that Louisiana's really the worst at, but which is not his fault. It's the culture of the state.
It's the culture of politics today.
Mm.
But politicians want to put their name, their voice, their likeness on everything.
This is where I know Suge Knight probably is not the greatest role
model.
We
going from Jeff Landry to Suge?
I got a quote.
Go ahead, Suge.
In the words of that Afro-American poet, Suge Knight, if he wants... Paraphrasing.
Yeah. If you want him to produce.
If you don't want your governor all in the videos, dancing,
taking the lead on the song,
pop
locking, doing the robot.
Vote wisely next time.
Man, hey, man, leave the gov alone, man. The gov want to put his... If Trump wants to change the name of the Kennedy Center or add his name, if he wants to be the Gulf of America, not Mexico... Man, and look, that's just you see that locally. You see that in towns.
You do.
Now
you do see it.
Okay,
you do
man.
See it.
Banners.
It does happen. It does happen everywhere. And by the way, I just shared an opinion. But anyway, it does happen everywhere. But I mean, I saw it in higher education.
Yeah.
Every new president wants to do their own thing. Every new president, everybody comes in and they want to do their own thing.
But it's so let's segue because that's a serious point now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at all of these studies now about municipalities and governments, the scales of efficiency, how they work. And the one thing I know about you, you've always been focused, right? You've always been good at what you do. But you don't just stay in your lane, but you perfect the lane that you're in.
It's the only lane I got.
So how do we begin to take a look at how systems work? And if something is working under Eddie Francis, when I come, why do I have to change it? Why do I have to wipe it out? Why do I have to replace it? Why can't I just continue to support it? There's actually a study of municipalities that I started on last year because I wanted a good understanding. Go ahead.
So hold that thought.
I'm going to hold that thought.
I want to hear about this. Hold that thought because we're going to come back in just a little bit. It's a Good Morning
Great
Show. Eddie Francis with OT on WBOK. New Orleans is listening to
all day long. Y'all better call us.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Good Tuesday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. Right now, warming shelters are open in several parishes for people who need a place to stay warm. This includes the Orleans Mission, the Salvation Army, the Low Barrier Shelter, and the Rosenwald Recreation Center. Now, amid the cold, Animal Rescue New Orleans is asking for help emptying out its shelters for the next 2 weeks. Arno says if you can foster at any point over the next 2 weeks, it would be so helpful since there are no volunteers available in the freezing weather to be able to walk the dogs. For more information, you can visit Arno's Facebook page for the foster application and to see some of the pups that are available. 2 people are waking up without a home after a fire in Central City. It happened on Baronne Street near Phillip Street just before 6:30 last night. Firefighters say the blaze was first spotted on the 2nd floor and crews had issues with the fire spreading to the other walls. Now, NOFD has not clarified if the entire home is a total loss. Thankfully, no one was injured, and the cause of that fire remains under investigation. All right, early voting resumes today after it was paused statewide yesterday. This is for the February 7th special legislative primary election. Races in Orleans and St. Bernard parishes are on the ballot. Early voting runs through January 31st. And Krewe du Vieux is watching the cold weather, but still planning to roll at the moment. The parade rolls at 6:30 on Saturday with the crew walking through the streets of the Marigny and the French Quarter with a decorated mule-drawn floats. And, of course, be sure to download the free Parade Tracker app to see and know exactly how long it will take for the start of the parade to get to your spot. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK.
My name is Armand Gillespie.
And this is Philip Thomas.
And we are the Balled Online podcast where we cover all the major sports topics. But today, we come to you all to talk about a more serious topic.
Suicide prevention. A little less than a week ago, a young, talented football player named Marshawn Kneeland took his life after scoring his first NFL touchdown.
We stress the importance of life and how precious every person is. We on Balled Online podcast hope if you're ever going through anything to please reach out to a loved one.
And if you think you have no one to turn to, please call 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Remember, you are loved and cherished in every possible way.
Peace and always love from us. And remember, ball don't lie. Peace.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
And good morning. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis in for Will Sutton. OT is hanging out right now.
House.
So, OT, before we went to break, you were talking about a study that you did, that you saw.
Yeah, it is a study. One of the things I like to do is research. People always ask me, well, how do you know all these obscure facts? I read stuff, right? Excuse me. Radio,
button.
FCC. I read stuff, right? and I watch these shows. I may be up at 2 o'clock in the morning watching C-SPAN on one of these studies. There's a study of government, municipalities now, watching how government's budgets are growing, but our budgets, many small business and many citizens' budgets are getting tighter. So how am I losing money and you constantly taking more money from me and growing? I'll give you an example. So they're looking at municipalities from New York, cities like New Orleans, especially major cities, it keeps costing us more. We keep asking our citizens for more, but we are performing fewer charter or constitutional services that they demand. Now, one of the things you said earlier was that politicians have that every time they get elected, first of all, they want to put their own stamp on it. They want to brandish their name all over the place.
Typical of politicians, CEOs, presidents, executive directors.
Typically. Yeah. But if it's not their idea or if it's not their department or program, in many cases they change it, eliminate it, or do something else. Yeah. So then I thought that is an extremely good point is because is it about the political term or is it about the operation of government?
Right.
504-582-9422.
Yes. To let us know what you think. Of course, we're streaming live. We're on Facebook. We're also on YouTube, and you can tell us your opinions there. And this is a very good question because, I'll give it to you from...
And you watched it on many cities, which are universities.
Yeah, I mean, having been in higher education and having been on the PR marketing side, and I'll give you a really good example. There was a campaign that I helped put together. This campaign cost the institution I was working at over $250,000. Barely had the money, but wanted a marketing campaign.
Did it anyway.
Wanted a big marketing campaign. So I went ahead, I led this thing, went out, found the agency to do it. I partnered with the agency. We came up with a great campaign, loved it. Everything was going well. We're getting ready for the launch. The launch is there. And what happens when a new president comes in? Oh, well,
they kill the launch.
Can we do something different? Well, you didn't spend $250,000.
Right.
The university spent
$250,000. Can't get it back.
Your board
knew
about this.
Right.
Yet you yourself want to do something different because it's about your personal brand. And the thing that irritated me in this particular
bingo, you just got to the bottom.
Well, no, this person actually told me this. This person said, well, we have to really look at my personal brand. And I actually said to this person, well, first of all, you might want to get acquainted with where you are
first.
I mean, you got a lot of stuff on your plate. And I'm just saying this as someone who has been here, someone who has institutional knowledge. I'm saying, take a look at where you are, and then do a great job, and your personal brand is going to fall in place. But it's going to take care of itself.
That's a great segue. Is it about knowing where you are today now?
Absolutely. Because to me,
it should be.
To me,
it should be.
To me, leadership is situational.
It ain't where you're from. It's where,
absolutely.
It's where,
in so many ways.
But that's not the conduct in many cases that we're getting.
No.
So business leaders, political leaders, leaders in government in many cases are putting their brand and their stamp on things that don't work and eliminating things that do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And unfortunately, the problem is that in Western society, at least, I can't speak for any other society, we are so oriented toward the individual. And we are so oriented toward, well, I have to look good doing this. And I am of the thought that if you do your job well, you will look good. If you lead people well, and if people cooperate with you and they do the job well because they like your leadership, you are going to look good. It's going to come back to you.
And the other good point about that is, first of all, it's been great conversation, guys, about how stuff works or should work. And if that department, that agency, that issue functions, you're going to get credit for it anyway.
You will get credit for it. I know this is a bit of an extreme example, but I was listening to another station. And they were asking this question about what's happening in Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minneapolis. And they're going, well, what's happening in Minnesota? Is it about law and order or is it about politics? And I'm going, please stop asking that silly question. Because the person who is enabling all of this told you during his campaign
what they were going to do.
I'm going after my political enemies. The governor of Minnesota just happens to be one of his political enemies.
Absolutely.
So what do you think ICE is doing there? This is not about the government or operations. This is about his personal brand.
Yeah, but that's look. One of the most frustrating things to me is this.
What's about his emotions?
It is emotional issue surprise.
Yeah.
And I think folk do that for the cameras. They do that, especially if they want to play the victim. Trump is a narcissist, and he's vindictive.
Malignant narcissist, to be exact.
And what's happening now is, and I want to give him some credit. All right, don't slap me. Don't take what I'm like. I want to give him some credit.
I'll keep my hands to myself.
I actually think that part of the first year, he kind of looked like he maybe wanted to play the role and maybe be everybody's president, try to end these forever wars and bring our people home. Now he's back to who he is.
I think he's always been that person.
But now, I'm trying to give him a little credit.
Don't. No, I'm dead serious about that. Don't.
I know you are. Usually you smile when you talk to me. You like Oliver.
Because he is who he is, and he can't change who he is, and everything.
So you don't think there was a sense of him surviving 2 assassination attempts, getting a piece of his ear?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Because they're listening and watching us too. Huh?
No. I'm not laughing at the
getting a piece of his ear shot off that maybe some humility crept in?
That the piece of his hair that grew back miraculously, yeah.
No, Lord.
I mean, can we take? I mean, I don't want to go down this road, but
You're on the road already.
Evander Holyfield's ear still looks jacked up from how many years ago?
Well, I mean, but from the dinner time,
I mean, I'm just saying.
Can
but
I-
I mean,
Can I get a
think-
piece of your ear?
I'm just
Vanda. Vanda, you got a little whack?
nom nom nom.
You got a
nom,
little
nom.
whack right there, man. That's ludicrous.
nom nom nom.
Vanda.
So I mean,
Nom, nom.
it's going back to our conversation though about what happens when we have these leaders who say, I need to go in and make sure that I look good doing the job, you know.
Yeah.
And again,
Wait, but hold on, because you're a marketing guy. I've seen you make a lot of people look good who wasn't, right?
Mhm.
Look good during the job, even if you're not doing the job?
that has been part of my job. So yeah. And there's some people who want to look good during the job
Pay attention to what Eddie's saying now.
and they have no intention of doing the job.
And can't do the job.
And can't do the job. And they can't do the job. I mean, that is so now here's my question.
That's part of marketing and strategy.
But where is the failure of the people on this? Because in a situation where the institution where I was working spent over $250,000 on a campaign, new president comes in and says, nope, let's change it.
Let's change that.
Where was the board on this? Because my question was
Complicit?
My
Complacent?
question to the board was, did you not see signs of this? And they did. I know they did. And I know they did because
They didn't see that in the interview when that candidate said they wanted to change the name of the university to them?
Well, I don't know if they admitted that part, but here's the thing. And I know this as someone who has done executive recruiting. Anybody who is going for a high stakes position is going to tell on themselves at some point, especially during an interview.
That's what psychological exams are for, because if you ask the right questions and it's enough of them, Eddie, I ain't stupid as I look. I'll be listening to you.
I agree with you. If you
agree that I'm not as stupid. You agree that I'm not as stupid.
I'm trying to think. No, man. I mean, but you're right. You're right. If you ask the right questions. All will be revealed.
That is absolutely correct.
Now, here's the other part of the equation. You can ask the right questions. The question is, are you a good listener?
Now,
are you going to actually understand the answer?
Now,
are you going to be able to read between the lines?
Take this conversation to, because I listen to everything you say, right?
I'm sorry to hear that.
Everything you say. You said ultimately are the people responsible. So when the people, whether it's the board, the voters,
I was going to go to the voters.
the university,
Mhm.
when they make a decision, is that decision also a reflection of where that majority or many of the voters are in that time?
Let's unpack that. Let's unpack that after this break.
Let's unpack that, baby.
And
504-582-9422. Give us your opinion on that. That's a profound piece, Eddie.
Thank you.
The depth and profundity of your thought and how we engage, whether it's mendacious behavior, narcissists, or issues that just hang around the surface, really inspire me.
We got 2 SAT words in there. All right. So here we go. Again, let us know what you think. You can hang out with us on Facebook. Give us your opinion there. We have a couple of opinions coming in. And then also on YouTube. And, of course, the number, 504-582-9422. I'm Eddie Francis. OT is in the house. This is the Good Morning Show on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Today is another WDSU First Warning Weather Alert Day due to the extremely cold temperatures we're experiencing. Highs for today likely only rising to 49 to 52 degrees. That is slightly warmer than yesterday, but we're still going to feel about 5 degrees below that actual temperature. Mostly sunny skies, and then for tonight, we are expecting to drop to 26 to 35 degrees, so another cold start to the day. A midweek warm up, then another cold blast of air by the weekend. For the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Attention, WBOK listeners. Are you a fan of the station and want to show your support and style? Well, we've got some exciting news for you. Introducing the official WBOK merchandise, the perfect way to wear your love for the station. Whether you're a longtime listener or a new fan, we've got something for everyone. Head to WBOK1230.com now and grab your WBOK gear before it's gone. When you buy WBOK merch, you're not just getting quality items, you're supporting the station you love.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
My wife was frying okra. She's from Mississippi, so that's her favorite thing to do. She left the burner on high, and it didn't take long to ignite. So I ran to the stove, grabbed the pot, and that's when I got burned from a grease fire. And yes, the pain was, it was bad. Oh, Blue Cross treated me great with the recovery process. On the financial side, it would be expensive without Blue Cross. And that's what I was worrying about because I was out of work for 3 months. I'm Chad. I'm from Baton Rouge, and I had Blue Cross for 10 years. I don't eat fried okra. That's the funniest story.
Louisiana Blue. The right card, the right care.
When experience matters, results matter. John Johnson isn't promising, he's already delivered. As a state senator and chairman of Revenue and Fiscal Affairs, John Johnson authored a $215 million legislative package that rebuilt the Superdome, built the Saints training facility, and helped transform New Orleans' economy. He also secured more than $185 million for district improvements, including funding for universities, research, and infrastructure that created jobs and opportunity.
I know how to get things done for New Orleans and St. Bernard because I already have.
Experience, seniority, results. John Johnson for State Senate.
Paid for by John Johnson for Senate.
Hi, I'm Imani Godin, founder of Godance. Godance is a nonprofit interdisciplinary dance organization rooted in New Orleans, providing access to dance education and sustainable, wellness-centered art practices. Right now, you can be a part of this work by participating in our Key to Your Heart house raffle. Our programs are open, inclusive, and community-centered, supporting artists, students, and creatives at every stage. Your involvement helps expand access, education, and opportunity for artists of all ages. To learn more and get involved, visit Gaudance, GAUDANSE.org.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
And good morning. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis in with OT.
OT, we're back.
Yeah, man, he is back. So we got a lot of activity on Facebook this
Let's
morning.
Unpack that.
Yeah, Maddie Womble, good morning to you. She said,
morning, Maddie.
She said, think about the children who had to stand at the bus stop in the freezing cold early morning when the coldest temperature in the morning, talking about your kids.
But Maddie, my mama made me walk. I ain't stand by the bus stop. But maybe that's some thought. You're right, because you don't have community schools. my mom would probably say, "Look, boy, you could freeze for a couple of blocks, but not if you had to go across town."
And in your defense, you said your kids.
Yeah,
you didn't say everybody else's kids.
Yeah, I said mine.
You said yours could have been in there.
Yeah. Thank you, Maddie. Maddie says, "Come on, big O."
Yeah.
OT.
Kerwin, thank you so much. Kerwin
I still
Terry.
think they should have went to school.
Kerwin Terry, thank you so much.
Kerwin. Kerwin knows we would be walking up Andrews Street. Kerwin knows.
Melma, thank you so much for hanging out. Jacqueline Wilmore. Maddie says sound. I don't know. Or do we not have sound?
Sound?
I think we do have sound, right?
Maddie, give us a call so we can hear your sound.
Yeah, let us know.
504-582-9422. Is it about the programs or is it about the politician?
Yes. So Gloria O'Connor on cue asks, early voting. What are your thoughts on the candidates running for office?
Let's go there.
Paul Jensen, thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning on Facebook. And, of course, if you're on YouTube, then you can hang out with us there. All right, so
there is an election.
Candidates. There is an election, February 7th. Make sure you
Senate, House seat.
Reach one, tell one.
Right. They of course they delayed early voting because
reach one, teach one.
Because of the
weather.
The weather.
Yeah.
With sun was out all day. Look, yeah, I mean, there's we're going to fill in the vacant Senate seat. Joe Bowie's now the chancellor.
Yeah.
Southern University of New Orleans, and Jason Hughes is the councilman for District East. So his seat is open. Look, this is an interesting election to me. Look, I have one thing that I like to see people who are involved in the community, right? And I know in the Senate seat, you have some very prominent names. Sidney Bartholomew Jr., nice young man. I think I've seen him 3 times in 30 years. You have John Johnson. We know that John went through some issues, but an experienced legislator, was good at what he did. Former councilman, got in trouble. Now back running. Then Ken Barnes, and then the white guy out of St. Bernard Parish. So I think there are 4. There are 4 candidates there. I don't know. To me, there was a time when maybe we would have said that's a black seat, but I don't think that matters anymore, especially the way African American elected officials say it's only a black seat if I'm running. If not, it doesn't matter. So I think that whole fact's been thrown out of the window. Ken Barnes, a young attorney, very active in the community. John Johnson, and now we're not endorsing anybody. I think we need some people with experience who can especially fight an aggressive legislature. And Sidney Bartholomew has a name.
Yeah. So it's, one of the things that I was pretty adamant about, and I said this a few times on my show, The Way Forward, and this was with the mayor's race. And one of the things that I try to encourage voters to do is to remove the names and the personalities and to think about what it is that you want. What kind of performers do you want in the seat?
Someone who had institutional knowledge, who doesn't have to guess, who was right about the budget, who understood how government works, who had experienced hard times and good times in their life, who would overcome obstacles, and someone who you know who was ultimately going to be for the people.
And so
we're only serious.
But the thing is I think it's important to think about qualities, because sometimes when we look at a name, and bias creeps in. And I think sometimes you can go right past the name, or sometimes you can go right past the qualifications and go to the name and the personality and say,
and
okay,
Eddie,
this is the person.
To your credit, and as someone who does this, I love studying the elections. I studied, hopefully we'll do a show at some point, and the one after the fact, and I'll break it down the way I was taught to, right, by Jim Singleton, Ken Carter, and many notables. I think people vote more name and personality today than ever.
I think
the voters are extremely shallow.
I think it is too. Well, I think
many are anyway.
think voters, and I don't mean this as an insult, but I do think a lot of times voters are ignorant. Because a lot of times voters just
ignorant doesn't have to be an insult. Ignorant
That's
can be
what I mean. It's
ignorant to that issue or that fact or what's before you.
As in lacking the knowledge.
Yeah.
I think people lack the knowledge a lot of times. And I think that people, unfortunately, when it comes to voting, they depend on media. Too much on media.
And the political system knows that. Otherwise, if it was about qualifications and who was involved in the community and who paid their dues, there are certain people who would not be running. Because they don't even they've never been around politics. All they have is a political name.
Here's a really good example. I was looking at social media the other day, and someone had a complaint about the U.S. representative race in Texas with Tallarico and Crockett.
And Jasmine Crockett, right.
And the person said, it is very clear, their opinion was, it's very clear who the Democratic Party wants in that seat. Because they are looking at James Tallarico for electability, and that is false and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay. That's not a bad argument. I don't disagree with that argument.
Now, Tallarico and Crockett are running for the Democratic
right.
primary.
Democratic primary. And I said, that's not a bad point. I said, however, the voters need to take responsibility too. Mm-hmm. Because electability wouldn't be a conversation if the voters weren't so easily fooled.
That is a very deep point there. Mm-hmm. And that is one of the issues of my contention here, right? And I used to tell people all the time, the people who run the political establishment, especially the brokers, the consultants, the king and queen makers behind the scene, they don't want maximum turnout. They have already profiled that chronic voter, and they've already profiled that person. All I need is a famous name. Mm-hmm. I don't need nothing else.
Yeah.
I don't want to encourage more turnout, because if I encourage more turnout, many of those people are frustrated with those famous names, or people who've been part of the system.
Yeah.
Right? So you are absolutely correct. But it has also hurt the system and also hurt the operation of government. We talk about lack of institutional knowledge, lack of understanding. You haven't been to community meetings. You haven't volunteered at a school. You haven't coached at a playground. You haven't stood up for an issue before the city council. You haven't passed out a flyer. You haven't knocked on a door before. You haven't come to a community meeting, a town hall. You
have no idea what the constituents think about anything.
No, but they know that doesn't matter to OT, because OT gonna go in there and just vote for a name.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I mean, and I think that when you have these elections, voters have to do their due diligence. And they gotta reach deeper. They've got to educate themselves as much as possible. We got Ms. Jones on the line right now. Good morning, Ms. Jones. What's on your mind?
Good morning, First Lady of WBOK.
Good morning to you all. Good morning to the audience, the listening audience, and grab more to come aboard. It's really needed. If the last year and month, 2 months and couple of days doesn't show anything, something's wrong with people. We need the people who are experienced at the local level, regional, and nationwide. If the last year doesn't show something, I don't know what is. We talk about carnival time, it's registration time. Registered to become voters. This is the time now. Wake up, people. Wake up, New Orleans. Wake up, United States.
So, Ms. Jones, question for you. And Eddie was kind of said in many cases, he blames the people, and he said in many cases in a way that I hope people weren't insulted by it, because I understood. He said people are ignorant in many cases to candidates and a lot of the issues. How much responsibility do you place on the voters when you get people who are elected who have no institutional knowledge, don't understand the system, and really are not for the people? Do you blame the voters, or is that just, or do you blame the people who put those people out there?
There's enough blame to share around, to go around. Serve it on a silver platter or a
right
rusty
answer.
platter. There's enough blame to go around. If people want to be informed, there's no reason not to. There's they learn everything else. They learn about the popular people, the celebrities. They know them from A to Z, and they've come and gone. I don't even know them. So, the blame is to go around you. The way you have to live hardship, if you don't learn by experience, what they say, experience is the master teacher. And then, again, they're not teaching civics in the schools anymore. In 9th grade at Bell School, we had to have civics. 10th grade, we had U.S. history, and I had world history. That's what made me learn to love history. A teacher, Miss Pollard, drafted me into her class. So, it's not offered to them. All they see is publicity with entertainment to the extreme.
Right.
And as for school, maybe people feel shy because they don't read well. They could take all the books that they want out. Keep something. You could form groups and community, neighborhood groups, reading clubs.
Yeah, but thank you, Ms. Jones. My concern is that, and Eddie said that, maybe I can be a little hypocritical, maybe a little haterade, right? When I came up in politics, you had to sit down and listen to Dorothy, a Dutch, a Jim, a Ken Carter, or Jeruso, or you had to watch, you had to learn.
Yeah.
You had to understand the legislative game and the administrative game. You had to go to workshops and seminars. I was already educated and had degrees. I had to attend workshops on how the political system works.
Yeah.
The difference of the judicial branch, administrative, legislative branch. There's no way Jim Singleton would have just let me say, hey, Lil Oliver, run for office. He ain't never had a political class, right?
And his wife.
That you would have had to stand for something. It's one of the reasons why I think we are missing political activists and community organizers, right?
That's so true.
They should also serve on boards, have the opportunity to be elected. Because I've seen their value now, especially when they would stand up for their neighborhood, stand up for their constituency.
Exactly.
All we have now is many cases of folk who the powers that be get together and they say, hey, he got a powerful name. We're going to get them elected.
That's all. No education.
That's it.
No background.
No interest even in government.
So, Ms. Jones, thank you so much for the
Ms. Jones, thank you always.
Again, I'm going to name some people. Okay, we have Dr. White. Brilliant piece of work there.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't put her in. Our late beloved 18-wheeler, everything that she has said.
Well, Dr. Wyatt knew so much about education and fighting for kids that in many cases the system held that against her.
Yeah, and I do have a question for you, OT, about the voter complaint of career politicians.
Absolutely.
I would love for you to tackle that.
Absolutely.
And let's come back and talk about it. Hey, Papa Baptiste, we're coming to you, and we got a hot conversation going on right now about what we need to recognize as voters.
And what do the voters really want?
And what do you want?
What do you want?
What do you really want?
You want a name or you want some substance?
Yeah, let's talk about it. It is the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis in for Will Sutton. OT is in the house. And
if you say you want perfection.
Oh, okay. I'm about to do the. Oh,
ain't nobody perfect.
Oh, there we go. Thank you very much, Jared. So I can see the times. Okay. So let me ask you this. So we do have 5 more minutes. I was about to throw
because I want to answer.
I did this with Jared yesterday. So career politicians, when voters say, "I'm tired of the same people running for stuff all the time," how do you respond to that?
Great question. Mm-hmm. Then if that career politician has a resume, he's a resume of success or not. And if you're tired of them, then do you replace that person with someone who has no experience and no interest in the community, never been available community? Because if you look at the candidates, there's someone that may not be a career politician, but they've been involved their entire career.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
And I was going to ask
I'll give you an example. In the Senate race, John Johnson, impeccable experience, right? This kid, Ken Barnes, right? Now, a lot of people may not know him, But if you look at a community meeting, panel discussion, involved, and he's never been a supporter of mine, but you got to give him credit that he was involved in the community. Period. Now, should that matter? Of course it should matter. But what the brokers, the business community, the folk with the money know is they know they can promote a name. They know that there's a large percentage of voters that's not going to do its research. They're going to say, oh, man, I like OT. Okay, yeah, but my son, my son ain't never had no interest in politics.
Yeah.
Vote for my son for dog catcher, because that's what he always tried to do.
So it sounds like if I'm hearing you correctly, it sounds like the difference that you're making is the difference between a career politician, people who just chronically run because they got to run for something, or the name is the thing that becomes the thing.
Right.
The difference between that and someone who is a committed public servant who always understands what the community needs. And so that person says,
I think
we accomplished this community. Now I want to help us accomplish that.
I think they can be both, but I also think there needs to be a mixture, right?
Okay.
We should not have age discrimination like we shouldn't have race, gender, religion.
Absolutely not.
Discrimination.
Yeah.
That's not going to accomplish anything. I think you can have a mixture of both.
I do have a bone to pick with people who say someone is too old to run for something.
That usually applies to our community.
I have a bone to pick with people about that.
So think about it, right? The older Georgia Russo, Jackie Clarkson, others could get elected well into their 70s, right? But Jim Singleton was too old. Dorothy Mae Taylor was too old. Make you...
I mean...
Oliver Thomas? So look at who dominates national politics or statewide office in many cases. But in our community, we're allowed to say, oh, why is that the case?
So everybody...
And I got your attention because I hit on some facts there with you.
Everybody complained about Joe Biden. What do we have now?
You got an 80-year-old guy, basically.
Who is sick. I mean, physically, mentally, and emotionally.
You have an 80-year-old guy.
So you got what you didn't want in the first place.
But in the African American community, they would have been disqualified immediately. We would have played age discrimination from the gate. And I watched it happen.
But this is what happened. But we were some of the main people complaining during the presidential campaign. So-and-so's too old. He needs to get out of there. Now, if you said that there was a health issue, I hear what you're saying there. But you rejected, made a mess of it because Biden was too old. And then you got too old anyway. You got what you didn't want anyway.
Let's do this sample. The young person says 1 + 1 is 3. The older person says 1 + 1 is 2. Okay. Who you going for? Because 1 + 1 is 2.
And the bell gets rung. All right, now we're going to go to break. Sorry about that, Jared. And we're going to come back. Eddie Francis and OT on the Good Morning Show on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityWealthManagement.com. The Magnificent Seven, led by NVIDIA, have been dominating conversations on Wall Street for a while now. But Black-owned and led Ariel Investments is finding value flying under the radar with smaller companies. Here's Ariel Investments founder, chairman, and CEO, John Rogers.
We're still finding ideas in the small value space. They really have been ignored. They're kind of the ugly ducklings when you compare it to NVIDIA and Apple and all these giant, exciting growth stories. The little mundane businesses that we've invested in for 42 years just seem particularly orphaned these days. So we're seeing great ideas and excited to be doing the research. I think there's real opportunity for small value.
Ariel Investments, John Rogers speaking to Bloomberg there. The firm's flagship Ariel Fund focuses entirely on small and mid-cap stocks. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars because the real ones always stay informed.
Well, Saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life, the way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 12:30 a.m. See you on Saturday.
LifeCare provides valuable whole life insurance to cover final expenses such as medical bills, burial costs, and unpaid debt. A final expense insurance policy is fast, easy, affordable life insurance that's available to anyone between the ages of 50 and 80. No medical exams, no lengthy questionnaires, and no waiting period. The application process is quick and easy. You can even apply without having to undergo a medical examination. Just answer a few questions and we'll do the rest. With the average funeral cost skyrocketing to $11,000 and Social Security only paying $255, you need simple, affordable peace of mind for you and your whole family. Don't leave behind unpaid expenses that, if left unattended, will burden your family tremendously. Benefits include a guaranteed premium that will never increase, a guaranteed cash value, and a guaranteed death benefit that can never decrease. To find out how you can get final expense insurance with a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, call LifeCare at 800-571-9955. That's 800-571-9955. 800-571-9955.
The Ron Kelly Show. Real talk, bold truth. Tune in for your weekly dose of unapologetic conversations that don't dodge the truth or dilute the message. Stay informed on the issues that matter most on The Ron Kelly Show. Every Monday at 7 p.m. on WBOK 1230 a.m.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
And welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis, Infilo Sutton, O.T. Oliver Thomas is hanging out with us. Yes. Listen, we got Papa Baptiste. He's been holding.
Yeah,
he
thank
has
you,
been
Papa.
real patient. Hey, Papa, how you doing?
Papa Bap.
Come on, say bye, gentlemen. Come on, say bye.
Hey, man. Buenos dias, senor.
Come see, come say.
Give a shout out to my son, Will. I know what he's saying.
What's happening, Ron? What's up, little Ron?
I told my boy Will, I talked to Will where he's hanging out at right now, bro. Clarence Carter and David Baptiste and the Gladiators and King Floyd sold out the auditorium where he's at right now.
Oh man, out in Canoga Park, out there, canyon, one of them canyons out there. Absolutely, that's what they do, though.
Yeah, we, getting to the point of voting, man, it's just a thing of now. I think to the Democratic Party and the Independent Party should be pushing together, because sort of right before your eyes the democratic system in the United States is being challenged. And I put out maybe 2 or 3 years ago when I recognized that the current president works for Vladimir Putin. And he works for the side of coming in, destroying democracy through race riots, through economics. Now you got this worm guy running the medical system, have all our children sick and ill, and all the other things. Now we're going to do war. We're going to, all of those things to tie up the Democratic Party. They're going to talk about his things with children and the Epstein files and everything else. And everything, this guy is trying to take over Denmark, Finland, and Poland because he wanted to increase the white race, because now that's a part of America. Now we got another big white population, either South Africa. All kind of crazy stuff is happening. And it's Vladimir Putin. When I may not be here, I'm celebrating my 79th birthday in 4 or 5 more months. So y'all, let's begin. And this coming Saturday, we're going to be up in Box Canyon celebrating Russell and my brother Paul Baptiste in California, and the Grammys. My nephew is up for, and some of my good friends are out there, and I wish them all the luck in the world.
Peace be to you, Papa Baptiste. Keep entertaining the world. God bless you, man.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Appreciate you, Papa Baptiste. I always appreciate
you. It's good to see the Baptiste family getting their due.
Oh, yeah.
When you talk about premiere, and then what Damon has done with international travel, international culture, from Africa to South America and around the world, it's you may not, and look, let's give folk their flowers while they're here, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's do that. I'm thinking about something that you said, and it is it's bothering me. It's bothering me.
Talk to me.
Black folks, we need to adjust our thinking.
Right.
Because after hearing what you said a few minutes ago when we were talking about age discrimination, and let's call it what it is, by the way, it's age discrimination. When you look at someone and say, I'm not going to vote for them because they're too old, you're discriminating against them based on age. That's not right, because you're not even taking into account what it is that they can do. You're assuming they can't do anything because of their age. And at the same time, going to get on social media and say, we gotta love our elders and give our elders their flowers, but that person's too old to run.
but there's a deeper part to that. The way we break it down with race.
But then
you said a comment off air that was quite profound.
What bothers me is that whenever it comes to older white politicians, the problem I'm having is, are we looking at them as wise, but then we look at older black politicians as just old? I'm really curious as to whether or not that is what we're doing.
And I named names earlier to show that how we distinguish, and we made a difference.
Yeah.
Based on race.
That is something we need to unpack. Now we got folks on the line right now. We got Brother Mims on the line. We got Reverend Calhoun. We're gonna come to you. We gotta do this break. I'm Eddie Francis.
Hey man,
we got
powerful conversation, man.
And this is WBOK.
Fast Eddie, slow Ollie equals the right pace.
This is the Good Morning Show, WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Washington's governor and attorney general warned they'll take legal action if federal agents violate the Constitution.
We will not allow this administration to turn our nation into an authoritarian regime. That is not our America, and we will not allow this administration to change that.
That's Governor Bob Ferguson, and he says agents will be held accountable and vows the National Guard will protect residents. Black Washington, D.C. delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton has ended her re-election campaign. The 88-year-old Democrat, first elected in 1990, was praised by Mayor Muriel Bowser for her fight for equal representation. And Kanye West is apologizing for past anti-Semitic remarks, taking out a full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal calling for healing. He also apologized to the Black community, saying he's sorry for letting the community down and asked for patience as he seeks change. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
And good morning. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis in with Oliver Thomas, OT, the man himself. Good morning, Martin. Good morning, Karen. Paul, thank you so much for listening. Oh, my friend, Yusey.
You said.
What's up, Yusey?
Great Yusey Phillips, man. Lawyer plus a top musician. Man. Karen Mark.
You at your fighting weight again, Yusey? I see the boxing on social media.
I love me some Phillips, the whole Phillips family, Mr. Gerald Manfield. Rest in peace, man.
Yeah, and again, good morning to Karen. Good morning
Karen,
to Maddie.
yeah,
Appreciate you. Karen Allen, actually, one of the folks. Let's see who we got on YouTube. We did no comments on YouTube so far, but if you do have a comment, you can go ahead and deposit that comment with us.
Yeah, we need to know. Look, you know one thing about Fast Eddie and Slow Alley is that we smart enough to know we don't know everything.
That's true.
And if I'm wrong, help me be right.
In the words of that Afro-American poet, Erykah Badu, the man who knows something knows he knows nothing at all.
Nothing at all. Absolutely.
All right, let's get to these listeners, though, because they know a lot of stuff. We got Reverend Calhoun on the line.
The man of Ninth Ward. Rev, what's up?
Good morning. Good morning. My first question I have is, how can you evaluate something you don't know? The candidates that we have now, my generation know John Johnson. We really haven't had any conversation or time spent with any of the other candidates. The younger generation don't know John. They don't know the candidates that's out there. So going back to what I'm asking is, can we do an evaluation behind something we don't know?
When we
look at these candidates that's coming now, you know, it used to be all over, you be part of the community, you come into the neighborhood to talk about what the issues and problems and how you want to address those issues and problems. I don't see that anymore.
Rev, stop right there. But it used to be that the defunct political groups are now, the political groups, they're not really involved in the community anymore. You have to bubble up through them, right? I had to go out, and I'll never forget, Jim Singleton and Ken Carter with me. If you want to be involved in the community, get involved. And I sat down with Yvonne Marrero, Gussie Carey, folk. I won a national award for mentoring kids, volunteering in the schools. I had to prove myself to do something before they would ever support me to run for office.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen
but
anymore.
The programming that's out there now, and how we are being programmed, you got to be really kind of stupid. And there's a difference between ignorance and stupid.
Yes.
That to see that the current administration that we have in Washington, D.C., that this man is sick. He is actually have some mental issues there.
Yeah, but does that matter to the people? And look, I'm loving this conversation because there's so many different things we could grab from it. Does that matter to the people that he caters to? Does it matter are we so fractured as a constituency here that we'd rather vote for age, vote for party, vote for race, vote for religion, vote for lifestyle, rather than who will work collectively for all of us? And I think the people are so fractured politically and ideologically. I think that's where we are now, and I think we're getting what we support individually, and and at some point, someone gets enough votes from a fractured constituency to say, "Hey, I'm in charge."
Yeah.
I think that at some point there has to be some real conversation because a lot of what's happening now, we don't get runoffs anymore.
Well, let me say this,
so we don't get a chance to sit down and have an in-depth conversation.
So how do you get there? It used to be the family sat around the table, and there was a unity of purpose. It used to be that the teachers and the folk from the community were in the community, taught at the school, worked in the jobs, and there was a unity of purpose.
Community.
It used to be that there was a collective political groups and activist groups where there was a unity of purpose. We don't have that.
The community. There was unity in the community. I ain't gonna say we didn't have issues and humbugs, but the reality of it was that we would come together. Our parents made sure at 18 years old you were registered to vote. And then they gave you some insight on voting, on what voting was about and how it would impact you.
Do you remember that piece that you did
all of those issues.
where you honored folk who had been voting for 60, 50, 60 years or more? Remember that?
Yes.
That should have been a documentary.
Wow. Yes.
It was on what playground?
again-
It was on Bush Playground, wasn't it? My mom, Mr.
Yeah.
Larkins, Miss Vera, Mr. Edinburgh, when Ro Brown was the MC. They had honored
Right.
people who gave testimonials about why they had been voting for 50,
And some of those
60
people
years.
had been through Jim Crowism, had been beaten down about voting.
It's correct.
So now you understand that, but they put themselves in a position to move forward. I'm not gonna hold up any more time. I know you got other people.
I wish you
wanna
could get
talk.
that piece, man, off of Facebook or social media that was
Thank you,
recorded.
Reverend.
That was
Really
a powerful
appreciate the
piece.
call.
Yeah.
That is very powerful. So it actually goes back to something that UC posted on Facebook. UC Phillips wrote, there has to be a shift in advocacy.
Mhm.
The shift has been from genuine community advocacy to advocating for personal agendas.
Wow.
And I think I think that is a very powerful
Right.
statement in and of itself. All right, let's get Brother Mims on the line here. Brother Mims, how are you?
Brother Mims, good morning. God bless you, great brother. Brother Mims? Brother Al Mims.
Did we keep you on hold too long? Sorry about that. Brother Mims, you give us a call back. But
So how do you fix that? And you're a marketing and public relations genius. How do we get back to unity of purpose?
I think we have to find out. So one thing is getting community input as much as possible and asking the community what it is that they want. I think gathering that kind of data is incredibly important. So I'll put it. One of my areas of expertise is what's called employer branding, right?
Mhm.
And if an organization says we are a great organization to work for, my question to them is, what makes you a great organization to work for? What data do you have from your employees that tells you?
I was
going to
ask you, do they answer that question themselves, or is it a accumulation of how it's answered within the organization?
So if you really want to be genuine and say that you're so great, then get the data from the people who are there, right?
Mhm.
And I think that if we want to find out what the community wants, that we have to find a way to collect the data to find out. Now, you have the Edelman Trust Barometer.
Mhm.
And the Edelman Trust Barometer, and for those of you who don't know, Edelman is a communications firm.
Mhm.
For years, they have been around the world. They've been doing surveys to find out from people, what do they trust in society.
Right.
The Trust Barometer has been saying for the past, decade or so, that basically nobody trusts anything. Nobody trusts any institution anymore. People definitely don't trust government.
Who you trust the most versus the least.
Exactly.
But it still starts with no trust.
It still starts with no trust. So
get into that, because I think that's where many voters may be, and many have opted out because they find no trust.
Yeah. The problem is the problem is the lack of trust. It is the lack of trust. The barometer, the last barometer for 2025 or 2024, I should say, the last barometer indicated that people trust business leaders more than anyone else around the world. Now, I do have questions about their sample.
Especially when you talk about profit margin and how profit margins have not kept up with wages, and how business leaders have not compensated people, and how fewer people now control most of care. That is crazy.
And so that's why I'm like, well, who did they survey? What questions were asked there? Because some of the comments I saw, I'm going, I don't know. I don't know about this. So, listen, we need to get back to
lines
these
are
phone
lit up,
lines,
man.
because
I'm loving
the
our
lines are lit
callers.
up this morning. Brother Mims, we see you calling back, and guess what? We're going to come right back to you after the break. All right, so let's go ahead and take this break. This is the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis with OT.
Fast Eddie, slow Ollie equals what? The right what? The right pace, baby.
The right pace. Oh, goodness. Here we go. I think we have a slogan now.
We got a slogan.
On WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
Oh, day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Good Tuesday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. Right now, warming shelters are open in several parishes for people who need a place to stay warm. This includes the Orleans Mission, the Salvation Army, the Low Barrier Shelter, and the Rosenwald Recreation Center. Now, amid the cold, Animal Rescue New Orleans is asking for help emptying out its shelters for the next 2 weeks. Arno says if you can foster at any point over the next 2 weeks, it would be so helpful since there are no volunteers available in the freezing weather to be able to walk the dogs. For more information, you can visit Arno's Facebook page for the foster application and to see some of the pups that are available. 2 people are waking up without a home after a fire in Central City. It happened on Barone Street near Phillip Street just before 6:30 last night. Firefighters say the blaze was first spotted on the 2nd floor and crews had issues with the fire spreading to the other walls. Now, NOFD has not clarified if the entire home is a total loss. Thankfully, no one was injured, and the cause of that fire remains under investigation. All right, early voting resumes today after it was paused statewide yesterday. This is for the February 7th special legislative primary election. Races in Orleans and St. Bernard parishes are on the ballot. Early voting runs through January 31st. And Crew de Vue is watching the cold weather, but still planning to roll at the moment. The parade rolls at 6:30 on Saturday with the crew walking through the streets of the Marigny and the French Quarter with a decorated mule-drawn floats. And, of course, be sure to download the free Parade Tracker app to see and know exactly how long it will take for the start of the parade to get to your spot. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK.
Trying to grow your business or increase traffic to your location? We can help. WBOK 1230 AM has a number of solutions that will meet your individual needs. Give one of our consultants a call today at 504-582-9420 or email us at info@wbok1230.com. And remember, an investment with WBOK is an investment in our community. Call today.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
And we're back with the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis, OT. Deborah Jones, good morning on Facebook. Cameron Jones, good morning
Good
on
morning.
Facebook. Really appreciate y'all. Fern Ware, good morning. Thank you so much. All right, now we got Brother Mims back, so let's go straight to him. Hey, Brother Mims.
Brother
how you
Mims,
doing?
good morning. God bless you,
good
King.
Morning. Good morning, T. Listen, I'm not going to talk long, but I'm 72 years old, and you know what I've done in the community to put my life on the line.
Yes, sir.
But let me say this here. I lost friendship with a lot of guys that look like me because they say Kamala Harris don't need to be president because she a woman. She need to be having babies. And right now, they be saying, hey, man, I don't like what Trump's doing. Look, you can't have it both ways, bro.
Yeah.
And we lost friendship because some of those they're sexist. That's foolish. You know, and this man is who's president. I never met Hitler, but he got Hitler ways, man. He wanted his ways.
Well, all kinds of discrimination are wrong, whether it's too young, too old, too black, too white, too Hispanic, too Asian, to this, to that, too
Thank you, Brother
religious.
Mims. Appreciate
All
you.
discriminations are wrong.
Yeah, and so I have to wonder about that because just like Brother Mims, I mean, I had dudes in my group who were just like, you know, she no, not her, blah blah blah. And I'm going, well, why not? Now they couldn't give a clear reason.
She not the one, bruh. Well, okay, well, why?
She's not the one.
Why?
She don't know what she's doing.
Why?
And then you had the jokers who made some of the rather crude comments about how she got to where she is. And I'm sitting there going, but how many people have stepped on people to get to where they are that you approve of?
Everybody who used them as a ladder.
I mean, I'm sitting there like, okay, so you believe she got there one way, but you think this dude over here didn't get there a similar way?
Yeah. You know, but look, I just think that's a shallow way of disqualifying people. You know, and in many cases, we will find the least common denominator or the most minute issue if you've already convinced yourself that you're against someone.
So my question, I'm wondering, what is the bias? Where does it come in?
Human
Why does
nature.
it come in?
Especially,
well, it is human nature.
Especially if you haven't. Look, I have this thing that I've said whenever I speak around the country, politically on social mores and tenets and issues. Right, is that if you haven't been hungry enough, you don't understand food. If you haven't been thirsty enough, you don't know what a drink can do to quench your thirst. If you haven't been abused, you really don't know love. If you haven't been homeless, you don't know. If you haven't hurt enough, you don't understand what you do to hurt people. And I would wish that everybody would reach a moment of clarity. If you haven't been locked up, you don't understand freedom. Right? So, and what most of us do is we conveniently forget that moment in time and that thing of those issues that we are glad no one else knows anything about.
Yeah.
What we did, who we hurt. So I think that's just a function of human nature. Very few people reach a moment of clarity where they've been through enough stuff not to judge or misjudge.
That's a great point. All right, Slim, we got you on the line.
Good morning,
Thanks for giving us a
Slim.
call. What's up?
Hello,
Good
Slim.
morning, Slim. All right, then give us a call back, Slim.
Slim was on the line.
He was on the line. Good morning, Linda Lewis. We appreciate you hanging out with us this morning.
Linda Lou, one of the great, great servants of our time.
Oh, there we go. All right, that's a heck of a compliment.
Yeah, man, always doing for others.
So here's a question that I have. I was having this conversation.
This your second question.
I was actually.
Is you interviewing me or is we? Go ahead, go ahead, fast at it.
You know what? I have access to you right now. So since I have access to you,
you got it.
I'm going to ask you as many questions as I got.
That's smart.
It's not every day that you have OT in your presence.
I'm going to vote for you, yeah.
I don't know. You might want to let the bias creep in there. So you just brought up some really good points about if you have never had this, you don't. And I would say if you've never had a certain, if you've, for instance, if you've never been locked up, you don't value freedom. I think.
Correct.
And
I know.
And I think for people who say, who act like is just go out and do the right thing, right? So people who just throw all these opinions out there, like all you got to do is, right?
Yeah,
and I always say, be careful of the all you got to do crew.
Right.
The people who make it sound like it's just easy.
This is what my mama used to say. She said, beware the person that shines their own halo.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, mama. I mean, really. And my question is this. I was actually having this conversation with my therapist. And my therapist got very frustrated at some point, and I had to check on my therapist. And I'm going, are you okay? And what they said was, this is just my opinion, has nothing to do with our session. But they said, I really think society lacks accountability. And I think that the people...
Personal accountability. Systemic accountability.
And one of the issues
Democratic
accountability. One of the issues that I have with people who say, well, I don't vote because there's nobody to vote for. I think that's a lack of personal accountability. And I think we need to challenge that. Not necessarily insult people or insult their intelligence. Because we don't need to do that either. I think if you go to someone who doesn't vote and you insult their intelligence... That's not a great solution because they will. Because that's actually encouraging.
That's a great point.
You're actually giving them more permission.
That's a great point. But that's the wrong.
But I do think what you do
good stuff
is you challenge.
You challenge them.
And the challenge is, don't you want to be accountable for making the right choice?
Tell them why you do. Look, I've had so many profound moments with people. I don't want to say I'm surprised because. My father always said, respect everyone, right? Because you can learn something from everybody. If nothing else, you can learn from some folk what not to do, right?
Yeah.
We, with our peacekeepers and beef mediators, right? Brother Kim, Cal, Patrick X, we would go walk to communities. Al Mims would be with us around the Coleman, Brother Willie, different pastors. Yeah. And we used to go talk to, and I would always talk to guys about politics and voting. Are you registered? Put your guns down, put your drugs down, get on the corner. And I never forget, Brother Hakim told me one time, he said, OT, we can talk to him about more than
that. Because
let's not just limit our conversation with them about put the drug and the guns down. Let's talk about what they might want to pick up.
So one question that I think a lot of folks like this are not used to answering is, what do you want?
Yeah.
And not what do you want, but what do you
What
want?
do you want?
What is your, and even bigger question.
That sounds like a survey.
What's your dream?
Yeah.
What do you dream of New Orleans looking
Yeah.
like? On its very best day, what does this city look like?
Oh, this is good stuff right here on the Good Morning Show.
On his very best day. I mean, I think about this all the time. On his very
the
best
station ought to
day-
do that survey.
Yeah, I think so. I think we should, because on his very best day, when I think about my city, I think about driving through every neighborhood being clean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about people being gainfully employed,
Right.
taking care of their stuff because they are gainfully employed. But then being able to hang out at the most underrated part of the city, the lake,
Mm-hmm.
you know, hanging out, like having a great day. Everybody has a nice car. Everybody's able to get to work.
Right.
Everybody, if they don't have a nice car, they can get to work because
Right.
we have the best
Transportation
system
system.
in the country.
Trash get picked up twice during
Trash gets picked up.
during crawfish season. Twice.
You
a
know,
week.
yeah. All that energy we save for Saint season,
Right.
we have that energy all year long for each other as a city.
That's
like
a New
on
Or-
his best day.
That's a New Orleans I want.
That's the New Orleans I want. I want the second line to be peaceful. I just want it to be fun, right?
Yeah.
I want to be able to have the second line, go under the bridge on Claiborne, have my man chew,
Get my barbecue, my
get
grill,
my barbecue,
my
from
grill
the-
man,
get-
Big
get
Dog's barbecue, my grill
my
man.
barbecue from my homie
Yeah.
on Keller.
Yeah, Keller.
and
First
Claiborne.
name D, last
You know,
name Licious.
go hang out at the club, do
Right.
whatever, and then go home, hang out with the family, and
Right.
it's a night. And then New Orleans is the most magical place in the country, and we don't have to wake up and read about a murder. We don't have
Nobody
to wake
got
up and read
shot.
about. That's what I dream of, and I always wonder that if we ask the folks out there who are ignored what they truly want from the city, I bet you we're going to get feedback that people never even realize exists.
So I got to ask this question: do you think maybe we think too personal, too political, and maybe we've ventured so far away from thinking in terms of spiritual or our humanity, how we commune? Because you reminded me of something. There's 127 Psalm, and I don't want to get too much religiosity though, right? But I had a good friend of mine, you know, when I was running for office, talking about how you fix the city. And he says, well, you want to fix the city with budgeting and economic development and all these different political formulas and bills and public policies. He says, but why are you all forgetting being a human being, right, or a spiritual value? And he sent me to the 127th Psalm.
Mm-hmm.
He says, so if you want to fix the city, do you think this will fix the city? 127th Psalm says, if God's blessings don't supply the builders, then the builders will build the city in vain.
Mm-hmm.
If God's mercy doesn't protect the city, then the centuries policemen protect it in vain.
In every faith practice,
Wow.
there is wisdom about humanity and how we exist among each other.
Are we moving away from that too far?
We've moved way, way, way away from it. I mean, one of the things I've been reading about lately is the African philosophy of Ubuntu.
Uh-huh.
I am because you are, and because you are, therefore I am.
Therefore I am. The connectivity.
Right, the connectivity, the
Right.
interconnectedness of human nature. And we have just moved away from it. The thing that's interesting, particularly with Black folks, is that innately it is still in us.
Yes.
I'm about to start a whole nother thing. We got an
No,
interview coming. We got an interview.
Yeah, go there, Eddie.
But because we try too hard to play by other people's rules.
And we're being conditioned. 2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Programmed.
Yeah.
Marketed.
Mm-hmm.
Shaped.
Mm-hmm.
And Willie Lynch still lives.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be religious.
Ooh.
It can simply be spiritual. Or it can be of your beliefs or of the universe, however you want to put it. But it all brings us back to the same principles. And so Can we take a call here? I'm asking
Yeah.
Jared. I'm getting permission from Jared, the producer. All right, Aaron, let's take this call really, really quick. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, King.
I'm good. First, shouts out to the Fatherhood Roundtable as well as the Hippie Newton Gun Club. I am because we are, and we are not because I am, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that a lot of us have become the very thing that we fight against and flee from. Even what you said about, with your dream. Again, the reason why your dream can't come through is because, like I just said, a lot of us have become the very thing that we fight against. Brother Oliver, when you read that scripture just now, some of us continue to look for God to do things for us that God has already given us the power and the ability to do for ourselves.
Powerful point.
Which is why when it comes to voting, right, the things that we're supposed to do that we are not doing, we look for this certain politician to come in and do for us what we have the power and ability to do for ourselves. Nobody should have to come into our community and tell us, pick that trash up from in your community, no matter if you're paying rent or if you're a homeowner.
Right.
It's certain things that we have gotten away from that we continue to put our accountability and responsibility on somebody else because what we are not doing.
So, Brother Aaron, do you join that movement or do you do like many are doing, opting out? How do we get the ones who are opting out to have that sense of responsibility? And it's like when people say they don't fool with politics, but you've heard me say, yeah, but it's fool with you. How do we get them to say, hey, you know what? I don't like this system. Eddie, you did the trust meter earlier. Mm-hmm. I don't exactly trust this system, but I'm going to be engaged. How do we do that?
First of all, we have to anticipate the distraction and not focus on the distraction when it comes. The people, you have to go with the goers. Too many times we focusing on the people who constantly saying, oh, that's not going to work. This ain't going to work. We don't worry about them.
Great point.
We get in the room with the collective minds on what we trying to. First, we strategize, we organize, and work until it's a reality. Too many times we focus on things that doesn't have no time to be focusing on, and that's why we end up right where we at right now because of feelings, emotions, political ideology, religious ideology, and any other kind of ideology. We have to focus on first. We got to strategize, organize, and continue to work until it's a reality, no matter none of that personal stuff. Because at the end of the day, we all struggling. I take my lil, put it with your lil, put it with your lil, and then collectively we have much, period.
Thank you so much, Aaron. I appreciate
Thank you.
that.
Good stuff, Aaron.
That is a really, really good
That's
note
how you go to break.
Segment. Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, we're going to go to break right now, and we're going to be back in just a couple of minutes. We do have an interview coming up. We're going to talk about NOLA No Troops, the coalition. I'm Eddie Francis in for Will Sutton with OT on the Good Morning Show on WBOK, where New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Today is another WDSU First Warning Weather Alert Day due to the extremely cold temperatures we're experiencing. Highs for today likely only rising to 49 to 52 degrees. That is slightly warmer than yesterday, but we're still going to feel about 5 degrees below that actual temperature. Mostly sunny skies, and then for tonight, we are expecting to drop to 26 to 35 degrees, so another cold start to the day. The midweek warm up, then another cold blast of air by the weekend. For the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Late nights are made for chillin', and you can do just that every Sunday night at 10 p.m. as DJ Wick brings you The Love Zone. It's the perfect way to top off your weekend with your favorite old and new school ballads. So sit back, relax, and let DJ Wick take you to the Love Zone on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
The Historic New Orleans Collection presents a new exhibition open through June 7th, 2026. The Trail They Blazed. Built collaboratively with people who participated in the local civil rights movement, The Trail They Blazed presents stories of social and racial justice straight from the people who lived them. Listen to leaders tell their stories of resistance and persistence in their own voices, recorded by the Historic New Orleans Collection. Plan your visit to 520 Royal Street in the French Quarter and reserve your free tickets at hnoc.org today.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
My wife was frying okra. She's from Mississippi, so that's her favorite thing to do. She left the burner on high, and it didn't take long to ignite. So I ran to the stove, grabbed the pot, and that's when I got burned from a grease fire. And yes, the pain was, it was bad. Oh, Blue Cross treated me great with the recovery process. On the financial side, it would be expensive without Blue Cross. And that's what I was worrying about because I was out of work for 3 months. I'm Chad. I'm from Baton Rouge, and I had Blue Cross for 10 years. I don't eat fried okra. That's the funniest story.
Louisiana Blue. The right card, the right care.
What if just $50 could open the door to your new home? Godan's is inviting you to enter their Key to Your Heart house raffle, where one ticket gives you a chance to win a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in the city of New Orleans. The drawing will happen on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Tickets must be purchased by February 12th at 11:59 p.m. Enter now at RAYZE.it/Key to Your Heart.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis in with OT, Oliver Thomas.
OT
and
in the house.
Heck of a conversation this morning. Many
Fast
thanks to
Eddie and
everybody.
Slow Ollie equal what?
Oh, here we go.
The right pace.
Here we go. You know what? He is going to. So Oliver Thomas, let me just explain this about this man. He's not going to leave this alone. This is he has an idea now.
Once I get something.
And I feel like this idea is going to it's going to stick like rice.
Fast Eddie and Slow Ollie equal the right pace. Everybody wants the right pace. You go too fast, it's a problem. If you're too slow, that's a problem. The world needs the right pace. We're all trying to outpace each other when we need a collective movement.
That's why Von Crandall is with us this morning.
A collective movement, no troops.
Yes.
Zola.
Von Crandall from NOLA No Troops is here, and Von is the chair. And good morning.
Good morning, Von.
How's everything going with you?
Good morning. It's doing pretty good. We ended up having a really successful action this last Sunday, so I'm kind of riding off that wave and excited to keep going.
So wait a minute. Let's talk about what happened Sunday.
Yes, absolutely. So Sunday we ended up having an emergency action after the execution of Alex Preddy in Minneapolis. Immediately we were doing an emergency mobilization because an attack on one of us is an attack on all of us. We're not going to wait until ICE is back in our city, until somebody gets executed in our city. We're going to stand in solidarity every single time because we understand that could happen to any of us.
So first of all, tell us about No Troops.
Absolutely.
And how and when it got started and its mission.
Absolutely. No Troops Coalition was started in August when Trump initially sent the National Guard to D.C. and Chicago. Same principle. We are not going to wait until they showed up in Louisiana and New Orleans. And we were right to do so because within a month or so, Trump was suggesting, just hinting at sending the National Guard to New Orleans. And immediately we sent a response. And this coalition is made up of several organizations who've been doing good work in the city. It includes the students at Tulane and Loyola SDS. It includes No Ship, New Orleans Stop Helping Israel Supports. It includes queer organizations such as Cutie Cap, as well as other organizations like Critical Mass, so on and so forth. And we have all been doing this organizing, but we knew that we had to, the whole thing is stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? And so we've kept on organizing until we actually had troops on the ground. But we didn't wait for it to happen.
So the work that the No Troops Coalition has been doing, there are No Troops coalitions around the country, correct?
Yes,
There's a national
absolutely.
movement. And what are some of the other major areas where the No Troops Coalition has been organizing?
Yeah, one of the first places, obviously, we're looking towards D.C. That coalition was also headed up by the National Alliance Against Racist Political Repression, which is also an org that I am part of. And we've also been taking the charge as part of the No Troops Coalition, but we're seeing it in D.C. We were also seeing it pretty heavily in Chicago, where they ran out the National Guard.
So what do you guys say? So when you look at the other side, of course, I'm famous for my rant about the state needs to take care of its own business. I went viral for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's another side of it. How crime went, literally people were getting murdered every day in D.C., and then for weeks, months, no one got murdered. And even in Chicago, the opposite conversation about crime, while the troops were in Chicago, literally many of the shootings stopped. What do you say to those folk who just want to be safe?
Yeah, what I'm going to say to that is, one, we already knew that crime was already down before the National Guard was there. Number two, the ones who are committing the crime right about now is the National Guard. It is ICE. We're seeing it with executions and the murders. We've already seen 9 people be murdered by ICE, as well as we're already looking at point blank, the kidnapping. This last week we had to look on our phones and watch as a 5-year-old child was detained at school and then brought home to be used as bait to get his father, and that brother had to then come home to an empty home, realizing that his father and his son was detained. And this is a story that we're being told across the country, right? And I don't know about you, but last time I checked, kidnapping was a crime. And we are seeing people like ICE move without warrants into these cities. And I don't know, I've been devastated. And, we've had pretty low numbers of kidnappings within New Orleans, but they still have been claiming that they at least got 200 people snatched off the streets. And when we're talking about people wanting to feel safe, I look towards my coworkers who are immigrants who weren't able to go to work for weeks.
So this isn't about getting the most violent offenders, because we want pedophiles, rapists, murderers, drug mules,
right.
Especially where I grew up, my
Right.
neighborhood, where we've been victims, right?
Absolutely.
So you're saying, and what the movement is saying, is that they're not getting these violent offenders off the street. They're going after everyday hardworking
Absolutely.
people. And do we have the data to prove that and show that?
Yes, actually.
Okay,
I can't
okay.
recite it off the top of my head right
okay,
now, but there is
okay.
research proving that a lot of the people who are being detained right now, they're not violent criminals. They
Gotcha.
are just people being snatched off the streets. We hear stories about people being racially profiled, people who are American citizens who've done the legal route, who've looked for asylum, or people who are in fact going for their court cases to get that green card officially. And you're seeing that ICE is being posted up outside.
That immigration court thing is a hustle, man. I've talked to some. They can detain people for up to 2 years, and then just let them go, right? But hold them, knowing that they're not a drug dealer, they're not a murderer, they're not a violent criminal, and they got the law will allow them to hold them for a couple of years while they prove they really are who they say they are.
Yeah, it's the whole situation.
No one's really focusing on an immigration court piece, and there should be more
exactly.
attention on it.
Right, and and immigration was a mess even before all of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so one thing that that you guys are dealing with is the 287G agreement.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Shoot, I don't even know where to start right about now.
Okay.
Warm me up. Take the lead on this one.
That's okay. No problem.
That's the agreement between New Orleans and surrounding parishes with 287G, and it's trust in public safety and institutions, and it's like a coordination between local governments and police departments.
Yeah, that part. Okay, now we warmed up.
Right. So everybody kind of
no
being
problem.
on the same page. That way you can't just raid my community and disrespect my community, where we will all kind of stand together in solidarity around any type of abuse within the region.
Right. So when we're looking at the 278 G agreement, we're looking at the collaboration between the National Guard, ICE, with our local law enforcement. Right. We're talking about NOPD. Towards the beginning of the National Guard coming in, or even with the threat, Ann Kirkpatrick said that she was more than willing to work with ICE. She
said it at my meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. She was like, "Hey, I'm ready. We're gonna collaborate and all that
actually,
stuff."
for the first time, had to let authorities know that she'd already been meeting with them privately.
That part.
So again, so okay. So what was the end game supposed to be there? I mean, that's the thing.
Well, the end game, if there's mutual agreements and respect, you should not have something like this happening in the local secrecy, right? Or private meetings. They should be community meetings that understand. I'm sure with Von and his group, what are the rules of engagement, right?
Yeah.
Who do you answer to?
Yeah.
Who do you report to?
Right.
Where's the list of people that you have profiled that you said that on this list that are so violent that need to be extradited, kidnapped, or removed from our community?
Yeah.
None of those agreements exist on the front end. Period.
And that was going to be my question. I mean, so there are a lot of folks who are taking a look at what's happening in Minneapolis. And what's happening in Minneapolis is bonkers.
That's an occupation.
Yeah, I mean, it is an occupation, and it is insane. And so let's say that somebody says, you know what? What No Truth Coalition is doing is the right thing. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to join them. How do people stay safe, though, in these situations? Because we don't want any more Alex Preddies, right? We don't want any more of these, How do people stay safe in these situations?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the way that we're staying safe is by coming out all in the masses. The reality is right now our First Amendment is being challenged, right? Like, we don't get to decide that. We don't get to decide whether ICE is going to be shooting down people, but we know that they've already been detaining people and killing people. We already know that we're not going to be standing for it. Our only option is to be out on the streets, right? We can't control if ICE is going to shoot us, but we can control how many people are out on the streets. The more people there are, more we can go about it. Unfortunately, there's not one all fix all that's going to make sure people are not being killed.
Von, that's a good point, because the one thing we learned from the civil rights marches, you and I, we missed that piece to be out there, right? But they were trained in how to deal with abuse. We see now where ICE doesn't mind shooting you. I don't want the people fighting for me shot. Is there any training, right? Or is there any process to telling people how to engage without putting their lives on the line or risking the aggression or violence from these occupiers?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't speak for other cities. I know that there have been trainings in Ojos, which is led by Unión Migrante, another local organization. And basically, they train people on how to watch from a distance, ICE, and film them and put the pressure on them as community members to be like, hey, message sent out. They're like, fantastic. We're going to meet up here. And they train them how to engage with law enforcement officers, how to be like, okay, they're saying take a step back. Okay, I took a step back. Is it a shuffle? Maybe.
Right.
But there are multiple trainings for that. People are training in mass, and I definitely know that that is happening in Minneapolis.
So, Von, moving forward, one of the things that you guys, especially in your brief, there's a lot of fears moving forward, right?
Absolutely.
What are those primary, especially given the escalation in violence and the accounts that we know are real, what are the primary fears moving forward? How do we adjust? And how do we begin? Of course, we don't want people in law enforcement shot down, but we don't want protesters and everyday citizens shot down. What's your greatest fear now, And how do we adjust and how do we organize to prevent it?
And I want to add something to that too, OT, is that I have seen, influencers on social media who are law enforcement, who are military, and their biggest thing is that these folks in ICE are not trained properly.
Correct.
In the first place.
Correct. So
so you got a bunch of loose cannons running around with uniforms on. And so with
absolutely.
that being a factor, how would you answer OT's questions about training?
Right. So I'm going to do this in kind of two parts. One, my biggest fear, genuinely, is people not being out on the streets, is people watching silently
people
by
not showing up
as like we're watching our community members being kidnapped. Number one. But honestly, those fears are unfounded. I have seen people be detained, not necessarily immigrants, but like community members trying to protect our immigrant brothers and sisters, and then come back out on the streets the next day. And that is a truly beautiful thing. In response to this notion that training the ICE officers is going to help any situation. Yes, the ICE officers are severely undertrained, as is the National Guard, right? They get once a month training, and that's it, and they can have second jobs, and they're like, hey, go out here with automatic rifles. Like, right, we see that down in the French Quarter, is that's what the National Guard has. And they get to decide how they respond in these situations. But a lack of training is not what's causing these killings, right? They're being trained actively with what little training they have to detain and to kidnap. Killing is one of those things, right? We're seeing ICE officers in detainment facilities rape and assault and kill people in these facilities and enact torture. These are the testimonies that are coming out of these ICE detention camps.
So you're
they're being
contending
trained
that
for this.
they're actually conducting these operations the way they're being trained.
Yeah, I believe that's the heart and soul of what ICE is supposed to do.
So and
that's a violation of our Constitution.
It's a violation of the Constitution, and so that goes back to OT's point about making sure that the people who go out and protest, have a code and have training, or at least have some way, understand rules of engagement, and understand that they're dealing with some folks who are not basically, they're not following any rules, that are constitutional rules.
Or is it because there's conversations from the other side, there's counterpoint, not whether it's wrong or right, but the other side is saying that protesters are being taught to sacrifice their lives, to put themselves in harm's way. And I know during civil rights you were taught not to do that. We didn't want people dying, being shot. Right. Can you debunk that right now? You're not telling your folks to go out there and get in the way of a bullet, are you?
Absolutely not. What I am going to say, we talked about the civil rights movement and the trainings that went into engaging in these protests. And largely these trainings were meant for sit-ins, for escalatory actions, right? And those things are easy things I'm not going to say easy, but those things are easier to train because you're doing it with a small group of people that are acting in escalated action. I know that I was ready to be arrested during like the student encampments, and I prepped myself for that. And we was ready, right? For knowing how we were going to engage in that. Right now, we're looking at thousands of people engaging and going out in these protests, right? We're not holding a training with thousands of people that is going to be unsecured, right? We're seeing hundreds of thousands in Minneapolis. But we're not telling people get in front of a bullet. But what we are seeing is Alex Preddy was trying to stop somebody from a woman who was thrown down by ICE and getting beaten up. And he was just there, hand up, left hand up, right hand video recording in a camera. And that's from a distance.
He was executed.
And then he was executed, right? He was armed, legally so, with a permit, and he was disarmed. And then he was still shot down and executed. And so I think going out from the angle of we need to be more trained, or that we're telling people to step in front of a bullet. No, we're telling people hey, let's demand that ICE is out and all this, and let's get on the street. But every single one of these people have been ridden with grief and anger, and they're the ones who are willing to take the streets. It's not just us. If I said something and people didn't feel something, hey, they're not going to be out there. But the reality is that people are feeling this just and righteous anger as well as fear. And they're understanding that, hey, our officials aren't doing anything unless we're pressuring them, right? They're not the ones that are going to be telling, hey, we don't want to be in agreement with ICE. We're not going to give funding to ICE. We're going to shut them out of our city, and we're going to put that pressure on them, right? They might say some fun words like, hey, ICE needs to take off their masks. We know how to identify them. Hey, like, ICE, stop killing people. That's really bad. But the reality is, like, people have to push for it, just like the civil rights movement, in which case people had to, like, flood the streets. And while, like, we weren't trying to get people killed, right? People were hosed down. Like, you look at the pictures after Bloody Sunday, you're seeing people, like, being covered in blood. You are seeing people, like, and children being hosed down. And we're not trying to get children hurt. But the reality is that we're also fighting for the future of our children.
Over 250,000 children actually participated in
Yeah.
the civil rights movement. And I think people forget that. So, Von, we're at a moment in history now where you're saying that if citizens don't occupy their right to protest and to fight, we're seeing a level of government involvement that'll alter the course of our democracy.
Absolutely.
If anybody wants to find out more about the
absolutely.
No Troops Coalition, how can they find out more information?
Yeah, shameless plug. Go to n.o.alliance. That's the New Orleans Alliance Against Racist Political Repression. That is our Instagram. We also have a website, and also, like, feel free to also look at other people within our coalition. We're talking FRSO, New Orleans. We're talking about No Shift, SDS. All of these people are going to be plugging.
And Von, before you go, what's the end game, right? Because we want to see this stop. Are you guys talking about that? Understand what the rules of engagement now are based on their actions. What's the end game?
The end game is to get ICE off our streets.
Okay.
Through any means necessary. And right now, this looks like taking the streets, mobilizing the people, getting more organized, right? One of the things that we say on the streets is, when they come, we don't freeze. We organize. We take the streets. And that's what we're doing.
All right. Von Crandall.
You promise to come back and keep us updated on this movement?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And again, Von
God
Crandall,
bless y'all, man.
who is the chair of the NOLA No Troops Coalition. And this is Eddie Francis along with OT.
I tell people all the
Good
time,
Morning
man,
Show.
look, they talk about, there's a group of young people out there that are willing to do what was done at every part of history right now. You may not agree with them, but that's where the value comes in, and at least trusting and understanding that maybe you may have done it differently, but this different applies to the times we're in right now.
Yes,
Let's
absolutely.
all be safe. Let's all be free.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's a Good Morning Show on WBOK, what New Orleans is listening to all day
All day
long.
long.
Missed a show? Want to hear that guest everyone's talking about? WBOK is now streaming on all your favorite podcast apps. Just search WBOK Media, hit download, share with a friend, and don't forget to rate your favorite shows 5 stars. Because when our voices are heard, our impact grows.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton. Losing a loved one is tough enough. Do you really want your family dealing with court battles and paperwork on top of it?
Whether you choose a will or a trust, think ahead. Take care of your family. Let them focus on healing instead of headaches. This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
LifeCare provides valuable whole life insurance to cover final expenses such as medical bills, burial costs, and unpaid debt. A final expense insurance policy is fast, easy, affordable life insurance that's available to anyone between the ages of 50 and 80. No medical exams, no lengthy questionnaires, and no waiting period. The application process is quick and easy. You can even apply without having to undergo a medical examination. Just answer a few questions and we'll do the rest. With the average funeral cost skyrocketing to $11,000 and Social Security only paying $255, you need simple, affordable peace of mind for you and your whole family. Don't leave behind unpaid expenses that, if left unattended, will burden your family tremendously. Benefits include a guaranteed premium that will never increase, a guaranteed cash value, and a guaranteed death benefit that can never decrease. To find out how you can get final expense insurance with a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, Call LifeCare at 800-571-9955. That's 800-571-9955. 800-571-9955.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Show as we start to wrap this thing up. And so, OT, we got the quick wrap up. Heck of a show this morning.
Well,
a lot of stuff covered this morning.
Well, Fast Eddie and Slow Ollie, right? Not only do we keep the right pace, but I want to thank everybody on social media who was engaged, the callers.
Yeah.
Important stuff. We all want our communities to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
We all want violent people off the streets. And if Eddie, in our communities, man, we wondered when was somebody ever going to come to protect us or keep us safe,
mm-hmm.
right? But an invasion, an occupation, and the execution of innocent people should not be acceptable to anyone.
Right.
Anyone.
Right. And you can't afford to say this isn't my fight. You can't afford to tap out.
You know what? I was on this piece at one time, right, trying to figure it out, and I just finished talking to Vaughn. Shout out to Vaughn, man, for standing up, being the leader here. But there are a lot of us old heads and folk who don't understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have mixed feelings, right? No, man, I want murderers and rapists and pedophiles. Mm-hmm. If they're not from here, I want them gone.
Mm-hmm.
And in many cases, some of my debates with them, and there's some sharp young leaders in that movement, from Hakim to Vaughn to many others, who I would say, hey, man, what about what's happening to young black men and boys around this country? Who's going to come fight
mm-hmm.
for us?
Mm-hmm.
We're being pushed out of the economy. We're still being locked up at levels like
mm-hmm.
nobody else. Who's going to fight for us? But like Vaughn said, and like you said earlier, this is really an attack on democracy.
Yeah. And
so you may not be in their sights now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Eddie.
And I think this is a good opportunity for folks to really call the system itself to the carpet.
Bingo.
Call the system itself. I mean, we can take a look
my
at
interpreter. That's what
you can say, well, what's happening doesn't necessarily involve my community now. You can say that, well, the reason this is happening is they did this over there.
Mm-hmm.
But what is it about the system that allows all of this to happen?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that we have to tackle. OT, thanks for a great conversation.
Man, there's always,
always good hanging out with you, man.
Hey, Fast Eddie and Slow Ollie equal what?
Oh, here we go.
The right pace, baby.
The front porch is next. You
Not
gotta
the
hang
side
out.
porch or the back porch,
but the front porch
with the great Kimba Dupree, baby.
You gotta come hang out with the front porch. All right, and you gotta bring a hot drink.
Yeah,
that's the only. That's the only drink that's gonna work right now. All right, I'm gonna hang out with you again tomorrow. Thanks again, OT. Appreciate you, Jared. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, my brother. It is the Good Morning Show on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about
all day long, baby.